In this lesson, I'm going to be showing how I set up my customers with a campaign that enables them to easily give and remove access to iMember360 memberships they have in place in their accounts. So, to get started, let me just show you in this account how we have things set up. We have three different levels, and I have them tagged. I make a habit of adding all of my iMember360 tags to one tag category to make it just a little easier to keep track of them. These first two are bogus. They're just there for testing, but there's a business systems materials, there's a mastermind course, and there's a CA certification course. Now, these correspond to this site right here, which we'll access with this test account that I have. So we'll be logging into here. And as you can see, this is a user that only has access to two of the courses. He doesn't have access to the Billing Systems Materials course. And I know that because I set it up, but let me show you how we can check. So I can go in here and check for the tags that he has, and I can see that we have these two tags in place. Now if I go and I remove them, and we go back to the site, I have to log out before membership changes go into effect. So I just logged out. I'm going to go back in here as that person and go like that. It probably won't even let me get past this, but maybe it will. Let me see. Yeah, it won't let me go in because there are no access levels that they're entitled to get. Now, what I'm going to do is instead of going in here and manually adding them, I'm going to be using a form that I created. And this form is in that campaign. It's here, it's an internal form, and I call it Give and Remove iMember360 Access. So I'm going to fill it out here. It pops this up. This is only in here in case I want to change something, but I'm going to give him access to this level and this level. By saving here, we'll go in there now. It doesn't happen immediately. It takes a little bit of time. So if I go in here, you see the tags aren't in there. Let me refresh it. And I'll go see the tags again. And as you can see, he now has business systems material and CA certification. If you want to find out how the campaign worked, and I'll illustrate in a minute the campaign itself, but you can go in here right now. It is 6:25, so this is the call. So we called this form. This form came up and was filled out, and then it called two action sets, and these action sets are what make things happen, for lack of a better way of saying it. So these are ones that we're going to look at in a second. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and open up my Gmail. And you'll see I should have gotten two emails by now. And I did. So here's one email for the CA course, and the other one is for the business systems. In here, I come up and, here are your credentials. You will need to access billing information materials. And then I give them the URL, I give them the ID, and I gave them the password that they're going to be using. So this is all the information they're going to need, and that's why I sent it to them. Now, if I try to log in, you'll see that I now have access to two levels. And so they have billing systems, CA certification, which in this case, there's no content in here, but I can prove to you, you notice this one here in the lower right down here shows the offer page. The offer page is what we show when someone doesn't have access, and here's where we'll put some sales copy. The CA certification is not the offer link. So the offer link is the one where we put the sales copy and the real content. This is where it's going to be. The business systems material is all of these links, so that's why we display them all. So how does this work behind the scenes? So I'm going to be going over to the campaign, and we call it Give Free iMember360 Access. And what it does is it's a form. The form is, like the one that we saw just a minute ago when we ran it. So it has some input fields, it has some check boxes, and there's the ability to give and remove access. This decision tree decides which one of these boxes it goes to. If the form is submitted and the person selected the give access box for business system material, then it goes down that path. If it's the remove button, it goes down that path to remove it. And then it does the same thing for mastermind and for the CA certification. So there's 6 different options, 2 for each of the levels. So if I go in here for the give access, you'll see that it calls this action set. This action set does 3 things, and in a minute we're going to go over there and see what those things are. If it's the remove, it's actually very simple. All I have to do is remove the tag that provides them access, and in this case that's the business systems materials tag. These other different forms, these other ones are exactly the same. It's just that they do it for the mastermind and for the CA certification. So how do these action sets do what they're supposed to do? Let me grow this a little bit. So I'm going to go like here, and I'm going to go to settings so that I can see the action sets. And action sets are legacy features. I find them to be better to use than campaigns, mainly because the emails go out faster. If I do have to do an HTTP post, I prefer to do it in an action set, so I only have to do it once. So here I am. I'll go to the BA systems, to the business systems materials one, and you'll see that this is a 3-part series. So the first one is the one that generates the password. And I'll go in there in just a second. The second one is we come up and we set the tag that gives them access to the business systems material. And then this is the template, which you can go into to modify it, maybe make it a little bit more elegant, provide more welcome-like information. But the most important part that people need, otherwise they can't use the program, is they need to know what URL to go to log in, what email address to use, because that's always going to be the username, and what password. And the password is stored in this specific field. Okay, so I am going to close this window, and I may have closed the wrong window. No, I don't think so. Hold on. Too many windows open. Let me close this down. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so here I am with this. So the first action set that this calls is this action set, and it's one that's used in common, and all it does is it generates a password. This is a call from iMember. What we're doing is we're calling the website itself. So you'll see that is the same URL that we have up here. It's the same website. So we're calling that website and we're asking it to engage the iMember360 plugin. The iMember360 plugin will recognize this command, and these are 4 characters that can be used to access that Infusionsoft application. So it's the first 6 characters of the application ID. And if you want to, just look up the Infusionsoft application ID and you can see how to get that. So that's all that one action set does. Again, if I go in here, I can see that the iMember360, I guess this is the welcome, the registration one, it calls the action set that generates the password. One thing to note is that if there already is a password generated, it won't overwrite it. That way you don't have to worry about giving people additional access to different levels and having that overwrite their password and having them then not be able to get in anymore. So it sets up the tag and then it comes up and sets them a welcome message. So as you can see, this is pretty simple. That's how you set up a free access web form or campaign, so that without having people register or pay money for their course, they get access to the membership levels that you want them to have access to. Take care.